Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Settling the Score. John Parenti, Mike Green, a special guest in a moment or so. Johnny Boots is behind the cameras. Hello, Boots.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
It is a big deal today at the Tavern on 3 in West Greenwich. Boots, it's all yours.
Oh, got the big smoking competition going on that Mike Green says he's going to stay for. I can't wait. So
That's what they say.
let's see. I'm going to transition to the field of where the 9 smokers teams are set up. There we go. And we can see the smokers going out back there. They've been here since 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. They stayed overnight smoking their meat and such. And yeah, so shut up, Mike. Don't say it.
The wind is blowing the wrong way.
I know, because last night we were up here in the drizzle and it smelled awesome because the ceiling was low and it was keeping everything low down. And yeah, I'm kind of panning right now to show everybody what the smokers look like. So one guy real quick story. One guy had to leave. The guy with the black trailer that you see there. He's the personal assistant to Jay Leno in Newport.
That's awesome.
And Jay Leno's house sprung a leak. So hey, you can come back. Just bring Jay Leno with him.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Will they show up? Oh.
Hello, how are you?
Hi.
So, all right. So yeah, that's what's going on here.
Hey, yeah, you're gonna walk right in front of the
You're
camera.
gonna walk around the camera.
There
we go. So that's what's going on here. Starts at noon. 2 bands going live at noon. I don't know if I can't. Can I get that? No, they get the big thing. So, you want to be on TV? Sure. Oh, why not? So that's what's going on. So, John, we'll bring in your guest now. Go ahead.
Well, the scheduled guest, as opposed to the unscheduled guest.
That's fine.
And the other
signed
one.
myself in.
You remember What's My Line with John Daly? Sign
I
in,
know
please.
Jay Leno.
So,
Casey Rose is the director of athletics at East Greenwich High School. She brought along Gunnar and
Yep, my nephew Gunnar. Say hi.
My wife taught at Naps.
Oh, Naps. Yep.
Yeah.
Hi, John. Thanks for having me.
Go ahead.
It's good to have you.
Yeah, this is great. I'm very excited for the opportunity.
Let's talk EG athletics for the next God knows how long. Start a new academic year. Things are starting to get ready for the fall season.
Yep.
You must be a busy gal.
Yeah, so I mean, we started Monday on the 17th, all 4 sports. It's a different year for us because football started on Monday. Typically, they'll come in a couple days in advance so we can kind of get settled and get into things a little differently. But just the size of the team usually helps to do it in advance. We've done a nice job the last 2 years with football, actually. We're in Division III. I think we're going to be able to compete, which is great. When I first got there, we were kind of coming off that Division I scene. And, you know, the size of school, the type of athletes that we had, we needed to move down, and we've gotten to that point. So I think football is definitely excited for this year.
Soccer, boys, especially boys soccer. Right?
Boys
Extremely
soccer.
exciting.
Yes, so I think they're going to compete. We're a team that does really well in high D2, and I think, you know, I know they're aiming for the play-in game right now. Pat's been there for 25 years, or over 25 years, so he's a veteran coach. He knows how to motivate the guys. He knows soccer, so I certainly will expect some wins where people might think we're going to get losses. And there's always the flip side. You know, you can get losses where you should get wins. So, but I think the kids, they've been working hard this past week, so we're excited for them to compete at that level.
You've got about 620 offerings for student athletes at EG.
Yeah.
What do you have on? Like 27 or so?
For sports, yeah. So we have about 30 at the high school, and then we have another X amount of school offerings at the middle school, because I also oversee the middle school as well. So it's between Cole and East Greenwich High School.
So we're talking boys and girls cross country.
Yep.
Tennis in the fall.
Yep, girls.
Field hockey.
Field hockey, boys and girls soccer, unified volleyball, football. That's in the spring.
You have baseball at your high school?
In the spring, we do actually. Just won the state championship.
Because I was sport today.
Were you?
Today.
Nice.
For TV.
So yeah, we have, I don't know what I said. So both cross countries, unified volleyball, girls volleyball, football, boys and girls soccer, girls tennis, and we have cheer as well.
So I know Deb McMillan is a great Deb McMillan, who I used to work with years ago.
Yep.
You know, back when we were both younger. So who took over?
So Tracy Fairchild took over first. She's an alumni class of 01, I believe, because I was in the high school and she was there. So she played for Deb. So we really didn't skip a beat. You know, we just kind of went into that. Last year was the transition year where I think people were getting to know Tracy and transitioning out of Deb. both have wonderful qualities that bring our program together. Deb is helping out as much as she can on the outside, and I think this year she'll come around as much as she can again. But it's been a nice transition because they are so close. They can work together to keep that program without skipping a beat. You know?
That's
so
awesome.
But Deb was there for 40 years. I mean, that's a long time to coach. You won't see that now, unfortunately. People are not staying in a job longevity, you know? So, I mean, to lose Deb was obviously a huge loss, but gaining Tracy is going to be just as instrumental.
Very good. Yeah. We go way back. My wife actually is an East Greenwich alumni.
Okay.
I think Deb just came on, so she played field hockey, basketball, and softball for East Greenwich. So
Nice.
she was a three-sport athlete. I think she was all-state in field hockey.
So what is your wife's name?
Cheryl Grilly. It
Okay.
was Grilly.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Nice.
Yep.
That's awesome. So that would have been back when like Deb was starting.
Just starting
to
out.
coach.
Yeah, I think it was just
yeah.
starting out.
Okay. Yeah, because I also had the luxury of playing for Deb for 4 years in basketball. So I didn't play field hockey. I chose soccer instead. But Deb was my basketball coach. I think she did the high school for 5 years, and I got her for 4.
There you go.
You're coming off spring successes too. Bill O'Connell's baseball team, which was a really pleasant surprise.
I know. Yeah.
Softball had another good year. Rob Petrucci's doing a heck of a job there.
I could talk about Rob all day. So yes, Rob is, in my opinion, one of our better coaches for sure. He's adjusted. He started on the JV side when I was in high school, so I don't want to give you the time frame, but it certainly has been some time since then. And he's adjusted from then when you could be a hard-nosed coach and parents were not so concerned about that. Whereas to now, there's a little bit more concern about how we produce our coaches and what we put out as a label, right? So he does a great job of adjusting and keeping kids in the program. And, you know, we may not always have JV, but he does some stuff to keep the JV and younger kids engaged. So that's unheard of in a lot of areas.
Big buzzword around the English Classic League in the last couple of weeks has been the addition of flag football.
Yeah. Yeah.
AG going to participate?
We probably won't be in this spring. We would need some time to get that all figured out budget-wise. But, I mean, we have a great town flag football program, and I know they just started a girls program on Sunday night. So it certainly is in the making for the future. I just don't know that we're ready to do it this spring in all girly.
Mr. Assistant Principal or Associate Principal will always work.
What about it? Not yet. Again, what am I going to tell you?
Club
Not yet.
first?
I have no
Maybe?
idea. I'm not in his head,
Oh, okay. Is it his
thankfully.
call? Is it his call?
Yeah, he's the athletic director.
Okay. Put me in my place, didn't he?
No, I'm on the board that approved it,
What?
the flag football for girls. You know, we kind of spearheaded it. We pushed it through. Justin Erickson from Johnson did a great job of kind of spearheading the whole thing and kind of taking it and running with it, getting all the T's crossed and the I's dotted. Finally had enough teams to be able to sanction it. You know, I understand it comes down to budget, and you know, at some point, you know, I'm not use this a bad way of saying it to rob Peter to pay Paul because it's not that, but at some point, you know, that's the first sport we brought in years, and it's an upcoming sport. It's a sport that's in the Olympics. College girls are getting scholarships now to attend colleges from flag football. Pickleball was the fad, but this is not a fad. This is something that's really the NFL's behind it. Really, from coast to coast, this is a big initiative to get flag football out there. And I just hope that all schools can get involved in it. I know it comes down to money. The first year, the NFL is absorbing a lot of the cost, providing a lot of the sponsorship. Justin, I think the games will be on maybe Saturday, and so it doesn't interfere with a lot of the other sports during the week. Practices can be as minimal as the coaches they want to do it, so it's up to them. And really, the first time I heard about flag football really in Rhode Island was because of some East Greenwich girls, the Fairbanks kids.
Oh yeah.
Ava and Brooke. I'm very, my daughter plays, is still friends with those girls to this day, and so they were playing in Narragansett League. Bruce used to tell us all the time. So it's. I think it started as a way of these dads that had daughters they didn't want their kid to play football, so they got involved in football that way. But needless, wherever the origin of Rhode Island flag is, it's here. I hope it's here to stay. I can't wait to see what the season's going to look like. Speaking for West Warwick, we have Powder Puff. We have, I want to say, maybe 20 girls, maybe 80 girls.
Wow.
And it's not run right. So because they think it's 11 on 11, so you have 22 people colliding. It's very dangerous. So I'm glad that because flag football is now going to be a sport, that we can tailor our powder puff
Yep.
to fit the rules of the flag football, so that we can minimize the safety, improve safety and make it more realistic to what that product will be if we finally do move into an interscholastic league event. I know track coaches get nervous, softball coaches get nervous, but if you just conceptualize this, the adult is saying, we don't want to do this. Why? For me? Because I don't have a team?
Mhm.
What's better for the student? Like we're here for kids, this is education-based athletics. So if the students want it and it's there, sometimes some sports have to go. And if you're struggling to field, and I'm going to use softball. If you're struggling to field a softball team, is there a call for softball anymore? If you're pulling 5 or 6 kids, that's not really a big call for softball. You have to co-op now, but now I have 30 or 40 kids that want to play flag football. What's in the best interest of the students? And so, it's a tough decision, but I think you got to look at, the numbers, and the numbers will kind of dictate the direction, not the adult coaches who don't want to lose their sport. And sadly enough, schools are here for kids, not for coaches.
I believe when lacrosse came on, I wasn't the athletic director at the time. They also went through that process where lacrosse came in. They sort of lost some numbers around the girls' side, but it's a transitional thing, and then it comes back around, right?
It usually does. Yeah, it does.
What I mean? So it's figuring out.
Lisa Ray from West Warwick wasn't going to go play. If you had flag football, she wasn't going to leave track to play flag football.
Right.
You're not going to lose. Like we had Maddie Berkson at Classical years ago, who was a great runner. And so that was a Classical, because I taught there for a long time. They were so reluctant to start sports because they were always afraid they're going to lose kids to track.
Stuff,
and that's such an archaic philosophy from people to limit or restrict the growth of one sport because you're worried about it taken away from another.
Mm-hmm.
If it's going to go because maybe you don't have the right coaches, or the sports kind of reached its peak and now is on the downside. So why not offer other opportunities for kids to get involved in the school?
Right.
So as I'm preaching, but I get it.
But it's interesting to hear your perspective as an athletic administrator with Rhode Island Scholastic League, and yours as a coach, and trying to find that middle ground that sometimes it's unescapable.
And the other part that we don't have to worry about it real necessarily is, it's going to be a cost, and it is a cost to the athletic department. So it is something that the athletic directors need to work around with their budget.
Yep.
And so it's very easy for me to say, just drop this and just use that money and swap it over from this to that. I know it's not. It's easy for me to say. It's difficult for the athletic directors to make that. Those are tough decisions. So
Do you have to juggle a lot with your budget?
I do. I mean, and it's not a secret. Every school is getting cut. You know what I mean? So with that being said, we're having less and less every year. We're not having less. I guess what's happening is the budget's getting cut, and then we're still providing, right? So it's fun. It's ways to be creative that you can, I'll tell you an example. The ACT Foundation has been absolutely incredible to us. I mean, that guy has given us thousands of dollars to beautify our school, to buy things for our kids, So that's helpful, because it certainly got me through a period of time where I wanted to make the place look nicer, and I know the community did too, but it's when you have a lack of funds, you've got to outsource, right? And we happened to fall upon him. I had a friend who introduced me to him, and he's been a great guy to work with, and I know we're not the only school that uses him. I think more schools probably should use him, honestly, just based on the process and the friendliness of Steve. It's Steve Marola. He's fantastic, and he's helped us out in the middle school and the high school. So I think that's one of the ways that I do my best to be creative without spending the actual money,
How easy is it for you to work with guys like him and the people in the Scholastic League?
Oh, they're great. I can call them up and they will give me any information that I need. I mean, everyone's got their own agenda, and that's natural to anything, right? Whether it's like a high school or a middle school, and they also have a different climate of school, right? Like what I offer in East Greenwich may not be what West Warwick offers, right? So there's a lot of different conversations to be had at that level, just based on who we are, what we need, and where we're going, right? Like I don't always have to call up there. If I do, it's probably something on the more serious side, if you want to call it, the lack of a better word. I've been around a few years now, so I'm getting more comfortable with rules and interactions and things that maybe when I first got here were questionable for me, but I'm certainly, figuring all that out.
With all those sports you have, the percentage of students who participate in interscholastic athletics is going to be large.
Yeah, so we have a 60%. We just did this last year for a budget reason, and we have 60% of our kids in the high school participating in athletics. And you may not think that's a large number, but when you think about it, when we go down to the number, we give out a 12 season award at the end of the senior banquets, and we get a lot of kids that sign up, and you'll see a lot of cross country track, or once in a great while you get the boys that do football, basketball, baseball. But we offer lacrosse, so they'd be a hockey lacrosse kid or something. So there is a lot of opportunity out there for kids to get involved, and we're so lucky. Our youth leagues are incredible. So they produce so many great programs that encourage kids to start playing at a young age. So like, for instance, I helped coach the girls lacrosse team this year, and I didn't know anything about lacrosse. It just happened to be a situation that I needed to step into, and it was a lot like basketball. So like, they had their fundamentals. All I needed to do was add what I might have known and kind of run like a general manager type thing, right? But it comes from the youth leagues. These kids play a lot, know what they're doing, and when they get to us, they're handing us off ready to take it to the next level.
We were talking with Joe Fagnoli a couple of weeks ago, and that was the number one thing that he mentioned, the fact that there's not a feeder program, especially in football.
Yep.
Well, basketball is so strong. They do have the Country Basketball Association.
Mm-hmm.
The Kids League is very strong, but there's no football feeder program in Coventry. And that says a lot about where his program is headed. And
100%. I mean, we've never had a feeder program. Anyone in East Greenwich ever did football went to the Jags in North Kingstown, right? So this was also prior to all the CTE and transferring and kids playing single sports and stuff. Like, I'm growing up in, late 90s, early 2000s, we played 3 sports. Like, I wasn't asked to specialize, right? So now you've got kids that don't have a feeder system are now being asked to specialize, and it's harder. Like, we get a lot of kids freshman year that sign up that have never played football before because we offer flag, right? So it's one thing to play flag, then it's like today is the official day to put the pads on. So it will be interesting to see out of our 50 plus numbers how many of them find football to be what they want because they've never been hit before like that, especially by a senior or a junior who's been doing it for a couple of years, So, but I'll tell you, John George is fantastic, and he keeps those kids engaged, and he does a nice job, whether we're good or bad, to make sure that the educational-based athletics piece of it is reminded of those kids.
how difficult is it for you to find people who put the perspective in student athleticism? The student comes first.
Yeah, so when I first got here, it was a lot of teachers, so I didn't have to do that. There was a lot of veteran teachers that were aware of the educational piece of it. I talked to them about that prior to their hire. Like, listen, this is not your private team. If that's who I hire, like, we're not on your private team. We're not going out and winning at all costs and all that stuff. Like, there's a whole entire thing that you need to follow through with. And I've been really, really lucky that, you hit bumps in the road with anyone because their philosophy may be different than what the rule says at school. And you need to be consistent with kids, especially because if you're not, they're not going to eventually get out of their realm of being a teenager, if that's the right way to say it. But I've been so lucky. I mean, I didn't even touch on Bill O'Connell in his state championship. I mean, they went 4 years. I give that senior class a lot of credit. They went 4 years in a row, and they finally got it their senior year. And they struggled along the way too, like any other team. But they came and they did their thing. And to be in a state championship 4 years in a row that's like unheard of,
Boots and I had one of your very first games against Tollgate.
Okay.
In the freezing cold up in the field.
Oh, I remember that. Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you abandon me in that game?
I did abandon you in that game.
I'm going to use the men's room. There he goes, driving out of the car. I'm like, where'd he go?
There's only one place in East Greenwich that day.
Yeah.
Football?
No, it was baseball.
Oh, baseball.
It was
Yeah.
cold.
Freezing.
I mean, I don't blame him for leaving. I wish I could have left.
Yeah. I remember that.
But somebody had to do the game.
And out in that field, it's wide open, so there's no cooling down if it's getting like.
You talking about getting electricity down there?
That's a great question. We could certainly ask that. We probably should. We have it everywhere else on campus.
Let's talk about facilities as well, because one of the strengths of any program is athletic facilities.
Mm-hmm.
After building Kachiri Field and some of the things you've done there, where do you feel that you rank?
Facility-wise in the state, I think we're definitely up there. I wouldn't say we're number one because, you look at a private school and they have opportunity to spend all kinds of money there. But we are very lucky and very fortunate in East Greenwich to have the facilities that we do. I mean, when I was there, it was grass. It was all grass, the whole place, Now it's that nice turf field. And our town crew takes care of the field, and I'll tell you, they're unbelievable. There's no way I could do what they do. I mean, I give them the baseball schedule, boom, the baseball and softball field are taken care of. Like, they're so integral to what we do, and so I think that helps our facility quite a bit. And then we're under construction. So right now, the winter probably won't be my favorite because I lost my upper gym, but it's okay. Scheduling is kind of it's really most of what I do, because if I don't schedule correctly, that just causes me more problems. So, I'll be kind of figuring that out a little bit because I'm used to having that auxiliary gym to do wrestling out there or something, you know. So, but if I was going to rank us, we're definitely in the top 5 for facilities.
Does the busing situation rear its ugly head? I'm going to ask both of you too, because it's been a problem. It's been especially for teams that play weekday afternoon games, trying to get people bused the way they need to be for a decent amount of
It's
time.
impossible.
It is really.
It's impossible.
Is there an answer?
No, I think districts have to purchase their own buses
I agree with
and maybe
that.
privatize or or do it that way. You just can't start a game at 4 because if you have a limited fleet and they have to do the elementary run at the very end and they get out late,
Yeah, and if the kids don't show up or something.
you know, you're not getting to anything on time. So athletic directors has done all the athletic directors are under kind of the same kind of umbrella with the time constraints. So I mean, everyone's kind of been great and they work together,
Oh, yeah,
push games
absolutely.
back as far as they can within reason. Some districts have their own bus company, so they don't have a problem with that. So they're less flexible maybe. Sometimes I think the officials, I can only speak to certain sports are really, those officials want to start. So if you're late, you're literally going to run to the start line. Not to say what sport I'm talking about, but they really, boy, most of my arguments as a coach was always in one sport, particularly when I coached, because these are unavoidable problems that aren't the kids. This is an adult problem, and you're punishing the student.
Right.
Literally making the student run to the start line.
And it's unhealthy.
Because they got out of the bus because the bus is late. I get it, but
it's unsafe too because now you're not giving them the ample warm-up that
course.
they need, And I would say I've never had really good busing because I came here when COVID ended. So I was a 2020 starter. So I don't know anything about regular 230 buses that a lot of these coaches talk about, But I like to his point about athletic directors, we all know we're in the same boat. It used to be a little different in the beginning. Not everybody was there, but everyone has pretty much gotten there for the most part. So I just, you call someone up, or you call Jim and say, hey, Jim, my bus is running late and we'll get there when we get there. And he's like, whatever, and we make it work. But you're right.
It's going to work the other way around. He's going to call you and say, hey, we're late.
Exactly.
So it's professional courtesy between athletic directors.
Yeah.
Which is great, which is necessary.
Absolutely. Does it allay itself on the weekends? I mean, is it a little bit easier on the weekends, or is it even tougher?
I think it's easier on the weekends because they're not fighting that thing that he mentioned about all the runs. So, a lot of times our buses will be late at the 4 o'clock time because they'll be getting to a run at the end and a parent isn't there and they can't drop an elementary kid off without a parent, right? So that can be your spillover, at least in my experience. But I wouldn't say that the weekends I can request any time and they've never given me trouble about the weekends.
What have you learned in your first few years? What is it, 5 years now?
Going into my 7th.
Time flies.
Yeah. What have I learned? A lot. So, I came from Special Olympics and it's a very, very happy organization where everybody wants to be included and they are included, and then the volunteers to the coaches. So when I got to a public school, it was just a different vibe, right? I was also post-COVID. So, I think there was a lot going on there that people were just kind of coming out of their homes and dealing with their own mental health. So I would say I learned to not take this job personal. I was telling you this earlier. It's not me they're mad at. They're mad at the situation and the process. And I don't want to take this home. It's not worth that for me, I think that for me is definitely the biggest thing I've had to work through in the last couple of years. It's just knowing that I'm the head of the department, I'm the face of the organization, and people come to me when there's problems, and I need to, realize and understand that.
I want to take a minute and talk about your time with Special Olympics in basically their biggest growth spurt since their inception, and the work you did with Chris Hopkins and Daddy to Jesus and the rest of them as well. How difficult was it to make the transition from something like Special Olympics to East Greenwich? And how much did you bring over from them to your current position?
Yeah, so we had a pre-exist. So first of all, my time at Special Olympics, I was there for 13 years, and that organization is if anyone gets a chance to volunteer or be around it for a short period of time, I highly recommend it. We had a lot of people that were there regularly, which made the job more fun, more exciting. We accomplished so much. You did say that, and it's certainly when I first started. We started flag football. We're going to talk about flag football, right? We had a unified flag football program, and the athletes would get out there and play 5-on-5. And we took a team to the nationals in 2014, and they won the gold medal. So stuff like that, you can't put a price tag on seeing an athlete succeed at the next level when they were told when they were a kid they probably weren't even going to live that long. you know. So I would say that that's for me been the most exciting, and my relationships with everybody at Special Olympics. I mean, I still run into people. I see them. I might see a coach at an event here or an official that officiated when I was running the basketball league or something. So super fortunate in regards to that. What did I bring over? I think I like to think I'm compassionate. I have moments where I'm not, certainly, but I think it's, you know, I'm making a choice for everybody, not just one person. And so I think the compassion in my engagement for unified sports, like, you know, we got a banner, I think, in my second year that I came on board, and that was a nice example of just celebrating the whole school. You know, like the teachers don't realize how inclusive they are during the day by just having them in their classrooms and teaching them and having them be part of that. And then to have your peer models in classes. I mean, we're always looking for people to get involved, and we have our volleyball program and our basketball program. And then at the middle school, we have cross country and basketball as well. So I just think we've really emphasized that inclusion and acceptance piece of it for our kids in the school.
And not only that, but it also includes the community as well.
Right. I mean, our coach that coaches our volleyball team, she's been there, I think this is her 16th year. She's an inception of the program. So she started at the beginning, and she had a son in the program, so she was invested that way, but she stayed on after her son graduated, and she's still coaching. And now she coaches the East Greenwich team. So now not only does she get the younger kids, but we're starting to have that like circular awareness, because when I was there, it was a very separate thing. Like the high school program and our adult program were separate, and not because we wanted them to be, but I don't think people realize that if you're in the high school program, there's still a whole like 30 plus sports being offered on the other side, you know? So it was a lot of that. We used to talk about that all the time, just trying to rein in who we are and how we come together as a whole group.
Boots, if I was to ask you the number one event that we did last year, the event that we had the most fun at.
Oh, volleyball.
Unified?
No,
Unified.
the unified.
That
Sorry,
one-
it
that one-
was a unified
Yeah, we were-
volleyball game.
That was
That was
tremendous.
awesome. I'll do that every day.
Yeah, awesome.
Those kids are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also did a unified basketball game, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Pros,
Yep. Yes, we did.
It's
Which is
so
always
much fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so much
great.
fun doing those
And you
kids.
talk about inclusion and development of the program, etc. There's nothing better than unified sports.
I mean, I agree with you. I obviously, being an athletic director, I love all sports. But if I had to have a special place in my heart, it's from my past. I have a cousin with autism, so I grew up knowing that this kid was a fantastic athlete. He just needed a place where he could fit in intellectually, right? And that's what this program has offered. And it's nice to watch athletes come in freshman year and they're like, I don't like that sport. And then senior, they're like, oh my God, I love it. I'm going to be like a captain. I'm like, this is the development that you're looking for, you know? And I think this spurt is a lot higher than a person without a disability. And I'm not saying that they don't have the opportunity, but when you get to high school, you're figuring out whether you want to continue this for the next 4 years and then maybe to go to college. But for these guys, this is part of their everyday life. Like this creates an atmosphere for them in the school, whether they're having lunch together or even if someone just walks by and says hi to them, that's bigger than what they had before, you know? So the partners are just as integral into this program as the athletes are, because without them, we don't have unified. We just have a whole bunch of athletes wanting to be part of something that they don't have a partner who's next to them that teaches them a skill or takes them out for ice cream or just like you're an everyday kid, you know?
The league certainly respects and upholds unified sports as one of its integral parts.
Yeah, I mean, it real supports the Special Olympics RI and recognizes unified athletics. They've been a big help to us because sometimes, we had an athlete who, we go back to one of our sports, the participation was so low in one of our regular sports that a student who's a unified student is very skilled. And they were trying to tell them that, well, because they played a lot of games, they can't be considered a unified athlete. Oh yeah, this was a phone call. This was an email. The executive director Lunny. I go, you got to understand, buddy.
Yeah.
They had like 12 kids. That student had to play,
Right.
just because. And so, it was one of those situations that sometimes they jive with the reality. So just wait, and then things happen during the course of a game. I'm like, there you go. See?
Yeah, right.
This is you're misconstruing it. So sometimes I think in an effort to kind of play fair, they don't realize there are different levels of need, and schools have to sometimes bend a little bit so all their sports can be successful and prosper. And so Mike Andrewchild, who was the even field recipient this year, they weren't going to let Mike participate. He couldn't participate at all as an athlete, as a partner at all. As a partner, he's one of our basketball players. But he coached, Like he was a coach. He was awesome, by the way. Like on the sidelines, he was so
Not
intense.
surprised.
Yeah.
He was.
That's your catcher, right?
He,
Baseball?
that's his
That's
brother.
Dave.
So
His brother,
yeah,
okay.
so he was so involved. He loved it. Like I think that moment of helping with the basketball team, I think it's kind of like changed his trajectory maybe as he goes off to college. I think he was thinking he liked doing this,
Right.
and he enjoyed it. He was wicked into it, and it was fun to watch him participate in that way. So I love unified sports.
That's how I got involved, really. I helped out my cousin. My aunt was like, "You're gonna go volunteer at a practice," and it was a sport I'd never played or done before. So I was like, "All right, whatever." I went. I fell in love with it. I did not major in it in college at all, but it just happened to work out. I was in the right place at the right time to apply for the position. So it was the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a moment in time that changes your life forever.
Yeah,
And it's
sure.
either can take advantage of it and go that special ed way
Yeah.
or be more involved in other
Yeah,
areas. of your
certainly,
life,
it's awesome.
And it
Yeah.
certainly helps coaching. I'll tell you, I'm much more calm now as a 40-plus-year-old coach than I would be when I was
You're
in my
not that
20s.
old. You're not that old.
Yeah, but I see the maturity in myself just, kind of when I was in my 20s, different.
Time to break. It's halftime here at Settling the Score. Mike, Casey, Boots, and I will be back with plenty more to discuss about EG Athletics and the rest of the world in a moment.
Saturday, August 22nd at 1 p.m., join the Smoke and Barbecue competition at Tavern on 3, 809 Nooseneck Hill Road, West Greenwich, benefiting Veterans, Inc. Come hungry and ready to enjoy barbecue, 2 live bands, raffles, and family fun for just $35. Think you have the best barbecue around? Enter the competition for just $25. Call 401-255-6673 to register by August 15th.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. Here in Rhode Island, we take pride in taking care of our own. At Lathrop Insurance, we have spent 86 years helping families and businesses protect what matters most. Whether it's your home, your business, or the legacy you're building, our team is here to provide peace of mind through customized insurance solutions. We're proud to support high school sports across Rhode Island because when our community grows stronger, we all win. Lathrop Insurance. Personalized protection, local expertise. Visit lathropinsurance.com to see how we can protect what matters most to you.
We've told you for years that AJ's Restaurant is Kent County's go-to spot for great breakfast, lunch, and takeout too at 828-4160. And now you'll find more parking, mere steps from the back of the building to AJ's front doors. AJ's. Plenty of those world-famous home fries, plenty of parking, and as always, popular for breakfast, popular for lunch. 1365 Main Street, West Warwick.
You may not be able to tell from the outside, but cars are more complicated than ever on the inside. That's why you need to take your car to a place where the technicians really know what they're doing. Our experts have been repairing cars for almost 60 years. From simple brake jobs to complex transmissions. There's nothing the experts at AMCO haven't seen or fixed. That's why we know cars inside and out. AA MCO.
I'm Johnny Mack, General Manager here at Sandy Motors, and since 1988, we've been making car buying wicked easy for Rhode Islanders. So come with me and let's go see how wicked easy we make it when car buying. From cars, trucks, and SUVs, Sandy Motors has the selection you want at the price you want. Get approved now and see all our inventory at sandymotors.com. Every vehicle in certified condition for you to drive for many years to come. Sandy Motors, we're making car buying is wicked easy.
Welcome to Dan's Place, Rhode Island's #1 stop for amazing food, drinks, and live entertainment. Dan's Place offers a fantastic selection of unique menu items, including pizzas, pasta, steaks, and seafood. Here's what our customers have to say. A masterpiece on a crust. Watch your favorite New England teams on one of Dan's 4 big screen TVs. Looking for a great place to meet? Try Dan's Place.
I'm Dan from Dan's Place, where your only regret is not coming in sooner.
The largest reason we opened up Seaside Pharmacy was to help our community better than the big box stores. We get to know you better, fast and friendly service. So we'd love to have you come in and check out Seaside Pharmacy and see what we have to offer.
Wood River Health provides medical, dental, and behavioral health care to over 10,000 people a year. even when they can't afford to pay for the care they need. The cost of providing healthcare services has increased, and the grant funding we receive doesn't fully cover the cost of patient care. We, like other community health centers across the country, count on community support to keep our doors open. With your help, we can keep serving as a safety net for your neighbors. Will you help us invest in our mission?
The Pizza Nomad is pizza, grinders, salads, pickings, calzones, flats, specialty pizzas, and more. Pizza Nomad. Eat life to the fullest.
We have been family owned and operated for 27 years. We do specialize in European vehicles. We're an alternative to the dealership. We are transparent and honest. We provide a digital vehicle inspection, complimentary shuttle services to your home, elite auto repair, building relationships for the road ahead.
Since 1974, Bill's Place has been serving up great times and unforgettable food. From family celebrations to post-game meals, it's the spot Kent County calls home, right on Main Street in West Warwick. Bill's Place has been part of the community for over 50 years, and it just keeps getting better. Come see what everyone's been raving about. For takeout, call 401-828-2300 or visit us online at billsplaceri.com. Bill's Place, where tradition meets great taste.
Back on Southern to Score with the second half of our program for today. Boots, you want to give us another little
oh, you want to do a
deal
little
what's going
thingy?
on? Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me get this set up here. Yeah, so as you can see at the bottom of the screen, barbecue competition at Tavern on 3. You know, I didn't even say what it was benefiting. I didn't even say that.
Yeah,
It was benefiting Veterans, Inc. And an organization that helps veterans with housing and jobs and mental health and a lot of services that Veterans Inc. help the veterans with. And if you can see, I'm just kind of pan out there. You can see these guys smoking all the barbecue, chicken, brisket, rump roast. You know about rump roast, John.
That sound good.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's been called worst.
So it starts at noontime today.
That was uncalled for.
What'd you say? What did he say?
Said that was uncalled for.
Oh, stop. He's so sensitive now in his old age. He gets 70 and he gets sensitive. It is sanctioned by the Northeast Barbecue Society. That guy that was here
That was
earlier.
a Kansas City barbecue guy.
Yeah,
no,
he's an official
Yeah,
licensed judge.
You have to go get trained.
Yeah, I read his thing after he came over and was talking to me. I told him we'd get him on. I said you'd interview him later on. You can talk to him about it.
And he'll hold his breath. He'll be fine.
But we're just kind of.
What makes a guy just walk into a he had no sense of
He was when I see a camera, I like to be on TV.
awareness.
No,
he just walked in.
He just walked in.
He just wanted the screen time. That's all.
Yeah.
Did you blame him?
Yeah.
Listen,
I'll tell you.
He's on with 2 Hall of Famers.
That's right.
Where can somebody say, other than me and Cassie now, we can say we've been on TV with 2 Hall of Famers?
Impressive.
It just
Broadcast Hall of
John,
Famer. And now a football coach Hall of Famer.
Nice. Was that a recent selection?
Yeah.
A few years ago, I think. A couple years ago.
Congratulations. Well deserved.
He loves signing
Thanks.
autographs.
Yeah, does he?
Huh?
I'll get his
Yeah,
after.
just longevity. That's all it was. They give you these things when you've been around for so long. They want to get rid of you.
Get him out of our hair.
They want to get rid of you.
White Green, HOF.
No, why would I ever do that? No.
John does.
It's on your
It's
signature, isn't it?
it's it's the only
Not
thing
mine.
for the two that I'm very fortunate. It's just a matter of we had great athletes. It's really about the athletes. It's less about the coaches. It's all you got great kids. You're a great coach. And that's kind of it's our fault when we lose, and it was all them when they won. So it was really I'm not judging my status based
Before
on
we
my
get back
own.
to Cassie and we talk sports, I just have to ask, how much do you get off your tuition for repping Assumption College and Assumption softball?
Nothing. Unfortunately, wouldn't that be great? But unfortunately, I don't think anyone watches. So
That's what Ben loves hearing that.
well, I don't know. I got a phone call the other day saying, "Oh, there's 4 people that don't watch."
Actually,
Maybe
you know
when we
what?
jump
Hold on
off
one
the
second,
bridge
Ben.
there.
Hold on one second. He's on my computer. I got 15 people
All right,
watching.
that's
right now.
9 more than last week.
All right then.
I always say that because
I think it's you that brought it.
yeah,
brought it
I
in the
think,
viewers.
honestly, I
That's
think
you.
it's Gunner.
It might be
Gunner.
Gunner. It's probably
I think
Gunner.
they saw Gunner and they were like, we're going for
why
it.
not? Because
Right?
they get sick of looking at us, right? Hearing us. What do you have to say?
Yeah, what do we have to say? We had nothing.
I know.
We just rhetoric.
Just trying to have fun.
Yeah.
For an hour. it's all
Ben gave
fun.
us permission to go overboard, by the way. If you want to
Nice.
go over.
All right. Thanks, Ben.
So,
So
I'll let you guys take it over.
Well, I just want to find out when I have to be back to eat.
Oh, 1
Starts-
o'clock.
starts
1
at
o'clock,
one-
they're going to start serving food.
You'll know by the band going on.
Hey, you going to show up this week?
Huh? To what?
I just want to make it publicly known. 3 weeks in a row, Mike Green says, "Hey, are you at the tavern?" The guy, I'll stay afterwards. And the last couple of weeks, I've helped cook. You staying at the tavern? Yeah, I'll be by to see you.
Yeah, this is a sports show, so I think we're not talking sports right now. I think we should be talking sports.
I'll let you
I
talk
can't stand
sports.
when EEI does that. When they start talking about everything else but sports. So this is sports, right? Settling a score, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I'm settling a score right now.
So what did you do during your summer vacation, Coach?
I had a great summer break. I look forward to that time to decompress and kind of come back, rejuvenated, if you want to use that for lack of a better word. So I went to Florida for a week, which was hot, but it was nice to just get out of the state. I'd left on the last day of school. And then I do a summer vacation every year. We go on it's a group of women, there's 4 of us, and we go to Europe. So this year we went to Portugal and Spain. So we had a blast doing that.
Good time.
Oh, it was great. But then I had to go right back to work. So it's like you come off a vacation, you need a vacation from your vacation, and now I'm back at work. But totally fine. It's quieter until we get the kids in the building on the 17th. So I didn't mind coming in.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Right, here we go.
Yeah, we're
It's
live
gonna-
now.
It's going. It's awesome. This is the best part of the school year.
Kind of gets speeded up though as you get closer to it.
Yeah. Well, I
I mean,
mean,
especially in your position.
we just have to be ready. So the biggest issue for us is that when the students come into the building, every single period they're going somewhere. That's the most important part. Is everyone has a schedule and everyone fits in a room somewhere. That's like the biggest piece, and then we can make the adjustments. In the next few weeks. That's a lot of things happen. Then they'll tweak things as you can. But the worst thing is to have 10 kids going. I don't have a classes period. That's awful. So you want to make sure that everything's settled. But athletically, I know what Jimmy's going through. He's there, making sure everything's ready. The fields are ready. The paperwork, which is probably
the bane of my
yeah,
existence,
that's
but yes.
it for ADs.
The big thing for me especially is I have a trainer, so I'm super lucky because that condenses my time where I have someone, and he's fantastic. He's an assistant athletic director too. So Sal Palermo is his name, and he came on. He's just going into his 4th year, I believe, and he's done a really nice job of helping to integrate into the program. So when you talk about paperwork, I've kind of handed that off to Sal. Coaches certification is another thing, getting them certified and making sure now they're going to be level 2. So a couple more classes that we have to chase down, but he's got a great organizational skill there. So, and then he covers like today, practices right now. I can't be there, and nor would I be very effective if there was an injury. I mean, I'm first aid certified, but I'm not a trainer. And that's been such a great thing for us to have that in injury prevention. So if we have a kid injured, they can go see him. And then we also accumulated a team doctor, Dr. Stephen Marcaccio. He actually did my knee surgery last summer, and fantastic guy, and he can take the recommendations if our families don't have somebody,
Right,
so
right. That's awesome.
and Ortho Direct's been awesome too. You can send them right there immediately. So I think the trainer piece of it was certainly something that I was able to add on while I was employed here, and kind of enhance that portion of it.
Come winter time, you staying around with Dave Macaron and doing some girls basketball?
Not this year. I've been a long time official, so I would like to get back to it. I was really only helping out this year because I tore my ACL about a year and a half ago, close to 2 years now, and so it was the rehab. I'm older, so I'm not these young kids who get to come back in 6 to 9 months and probably tear it again. But I really wanted to make sure all of that was right, so I'd like to come back to basketball. I haven't fully committed that totally yet, but I'd like to do that and make that happen.
How much do you guys miss Donnie Bowen?
I love Donnie Bowen. He still works for
Everybody
me,
loves
actually.
Donnie Bowen.
I love him. He's the best. He still works for me on the game day staff with Sue Mosca. They're integral for, another piece of this is that, let's say I have something going on, like I have my nephew here and he's into sports as well as the rest of his family. So I hate missing out at night, for a game. So Donnie or Sue will cover a game along with some other of my game day staff that works. And football's a big one. We need 6 or 7 people to be on that staff, So, but yeah, I love Donnie. Still runs basketball camps for us. Still runs the youth leagues at Eldridge, and he's just a man of the town, you know, and everybody loves him. I've never met a person that says they don't like Donnie
very,
Bowen.
very
truthfully.
true.
You know, he's genuine. He cares, you know.
Do you have a favorite sport?
What is
Football.
What's your favorite team?
What's your favorite professional team, though? You said it in the car, and I know your daddy's going to be mad if he hears this.
Oh, Eagles and Patriots.
They're playing
So
tonight.
you'll be in front of a TV tonight
Yeah,
watching the game. then.
he'll actually, today's a great day for sport.
It
Can't wait
really
for
is.
college.
And he, my brother is a Cowboys fan, and so was my dad. So this was a point of controversy in our home as kids because I chose Patriots and my two brothers still Cowboys. He has chose Patriots and Eagles, and his two other siblings are Cowboy fans. So
Well, Vivian doesn't really care.
she doesn't care. Yeah, I don't think she cares much about football. She's more of a soccer player.
How much of a kick is it for you personally to come back and lead the program that you played for 4 years?
It's funny. When I was at the high school, I didn't think about it that way at all because I'm a fourth generation kid. So East Greenwich has always just been part of my life. You know, like it's where I grew up. It's where my parents grew up. It's, well, not my parents, but my father, my grandfather, his grandfather. So I never knew anything different, you know. I was ready to go out of the high school, though, when I graduated, like any typical graduating senior. And I tell them this. I'm like, be careful what you wish for because you might just be me, which is I wanted to get out of there. And here I am back, you know. When the opportunity came up, it was a no-brainer. I applied for it. I always wanted to get into the athletic director side of things. I've been a sports person my whole life. I can't draw a stick figure, but I can play a sport, you know? And so I think that was what I focused on my whole life. It got me out a lot of childhood, you know, situations that I think as long as I went there, it was going to be better than if I went somewhere else, you know? So I love it. It's fun. And a lot of the parents that I graduated with are now kids that are in the school system. So like, you know, I'm interacting with people that I haven't seen, or if I've seen you, it hasn't been on the same level as your child being in the school. So it's kind of neat to cheer for people that you already knew from your previous life, you know.
I was in Richard's pub not long ago with, you talk about former athletes who now moved on into different things. And one of the names that was brought up, I happened to see at Richard's pub, Aaron Kukian,
Oh yeah, yeah.
who
Aaron.
now is running for governor. And
He is, yeah.
it's just astounding to see somebody you remember playing on a basketball court and covering his games as a high school player, all of a sudden running for the governorship of Rhode Island. It's nuts.
I know. And his two daughters at the high school, Emma and Noela, and they, you know, they're basketball player and field hockey players, and then one of them plays tennis too. So they're actively involved like Aaron was with his athletic career.
You and I were talking, going back and forth online about the East Greenwich Mount Rushmore.
Oh God.
And the people who made East Greenwich, I mean, it's such a rich tradition when you go back and review some of the names and stuff. And we talked about West Warwick for ad nauseum at one point. It's Monk, it's Dan Sylvester, it's John Grilly, your father-in-law, and the job he did with the cross country and track teams. And then the fourth was always, well, is it Louis Polano? Is it one of the Owls? Is it Steve Sr.?
No, Lou Polano, he was at Cicero when I was
Yeah,
there.
Lou
Yeah.
Polano.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
Lou
athletic
Polano.
director.
Yeah.
But what about EG? Where do we start?
I mean, it's a no-brainer to start with Nick Achiri. I
Yep.
mean, they named the field after him, and in the stories, I'm part of the Hall of Fame committee as part of my job, and so athletic side. And it's interesting because every person who's come up to speak has spoken about Nick in one of their previous lifestyles. So I would say he's definitely number one on that list.
He was
Artie-
number one on my list, too.
Yeah, I mean, Artie Kershaw is unbelievable.
He was number two on my
Yeah,
list.
So he was the athletic director when I was there, and you know, to now see him as an older adult, I always had the respect for him as an athlete. But I see him as an older adult now, and I know what he did as a job, right? So
Yeah.
like things were different then, and you know, we all go through those phases of, you know, it'll be different when the next person takes over for me, you know, and so it's interesting. But he was great for the school. He was a phys ed teacher, he was an athletic director, and he coached a ton of sports. Like he was just really successful, and you know, he's still around, and everybody loves him. You know what I mean? And they have their stories, so
Yes,
you know.
I can hear him calling plays when we coach against EG and what was it, Eccleston Field? What's that field?
Eldridge.
Yep. Can hear because everything echoed.
Oh yeah.
AO counter. You yell AO counter. I couldn't stop it. Everyone knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, and he's and you know, we had the West Warwick rivalries because his brother was the athletic director when I was at East Greenwich. He was at West Warwick, you know, so he would be like talk to us about West Warwick and stuff like that. But I would say Carl Swanson is definitely on that list.
He was my number 4.
Yeah, he made that program, that hockey program, incredible, and we're just trying to, you know, keep that same momentum going through, right? I mean, we had a championship 2 years ago, so I was out when they had that, but great opportunity to get that. I mean, I'm always going to put Donnie on that list. I mean, he's been around for a long time. I would say Donnie and Deb are kind of equally successful in their own ways. If we're only picking 4, I would have to go there with both of them. I think they both had an extreme amount of success over their years. They ran a program that people wanted to come back to, right? So if you have an alumni game, there's guys and gals from their first year still wanting to come back, and they're grown men and women that are, you know, like have their own lives and they're making it work. I know Donnie did a reunion with a team that won the state championship over the summer. And I know Deb every year does her alumni games, and she has kids come back that play for her that were kids in her program, you know, so she's in second generation stuff. So I would say between the two of them, I would throw them together.
And that's so hard to do, I think, in the public school setting, because I think public school wise, there's really not a great choice. You're going there because you live in the town.
Correct,
so
right.
Like the buy-in to do that in the public school really shows that there's a big connection with the coaches and the kids and their willingness to come back and participate in those alumni events.
Yeah.
Private schools, yes, because everything's kind of branded for that lifelong, commitment to whatever private school you've gone to.
Right.
Public school is not that. It's not that easy.
No.
You know, so to do that is awesome. To have that many kids come back.
Yeah, and religiously too.
Yeah,
by the
that's
way,
pretty
you
good.
know what
That's
I mean?
they love their
Yeah.
school. They love
Yeah.
their community, and that's awesome.
Yeah, which is nice for us because I mean we have alumni that want to come back and they want to go to East Greenwich. It's not easy to live in East Greenwich. It's not a cheap world over there. You know what I mean? So to live there, you really have to be able to be there and afford it. You know, and so I think it's nice to know that families continuously want to come back for that reason. You know.
You mentioned Donnie and the reunion he had with the state championship team. That wasn't the Art Fillet Brown West group, was it?
I believe so. I don't know exactly who was there. Donnie would be able to kind of tell you more. I just know that they came into town as a group and they met up and they did a weekend. They did like a Richard's Pub thing. They did a pool day. So like they really came from all over to come back. So what was the year that he won the championship? Would that have been that team?
Probably. It goes back to like 80 something.
Sounds about right. Late 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that might be right. Early 90s. It might have been that early 90s team, actually, now that you say that. I think Dan Forbes was on
I
that
think they
team.
won it at Bryant College. For some reason, the championships were held at Bryant that year. And I want to say they beat North Providence in the championship game, but that was a super team.
Yeah, and Bryant was when they did the playoffs when I was a Bryant. The championship was the Dunk, which they went back to, which was kind of cool because I got to ref a basketball game there after being a player there for 2 years and losing, by the way. But it was a nice opportunity to go back and see the Dunk. So I'm glad the Interscholastic League brought that back.
We don't talk about losing. Losing is a non-entity here at Selling the Store.
No, of course not.
I just had something else pop into my mind that I wanted to,
You didn't say your fourth, though. You said that Carl
Deb
was
Deb was actually my third.
Yep.
Carl was my fourth. So I feel pretty good about that.
Good for you. It just shows you have you're a well of
A
knowledge.
bon vivant.
Yeah, for sure. If I knew what that meant, I'll agree. Is it good? Is it a good thing?
It is.
Oh, all right, maybe not.
Living around here, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you get to deal with
Small.
West Warwick and East Greenwich.
Yeah, small town, small area.
Yeah, because I met you way back. When
Good.
you were the
You were an
Legion
athlete.
coach. Yeah, but you were a Legion coach with the Allman family. Remember?
Yeah,
Billy
oh,
Allman?
yeah,
Yeah. So and Billy was in my class.
I had all three of them.
Yeah,
I had-
Megan. I mean, I don't want to talk athletes, but talk about somebody who was an outstanding athlete in our school district and went on to play a different sport than she played for her entire career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but she certainly is up there.
And
in
then
that
Bill and
conversation.
Katie, the class of the earth, are just great people with three
Oh,
great
yeah.
kids.
Mhm.
Now the grandkids come along. I haven't seen Bill in a while.
And they're in East Greenwich too, the grandkids.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is great. You know, once again, another family that I interacted with when I was younger that has kids. You know?
I did 30 years in West Warwick.
So what is your number one challenge as we head into the new academic year, Coach?
It's definitely construction. Right now we have no locker rooms. We have no upper gym. They're redoing our auditorium. So the space condensed from a life that we knew to now, right? It'll be fine. It's going to come back online, but it's certainly the scheduling challenge of the winter I'll run into because they just dropped the schedules for the winter. So now I got to sit down and see what that looks like and then kind of add it up to a timeline that goes along with our upper gym. But I would say that's our biggest challenge because things are constantly changing. I mean, I've moved offices a few times. Like it is what it is. But luckily we have a trainer mobile station outside that if I really ever got stuck, I could go work out there. So he's working out like by the concession stand. So he was uprooted as well because he was part of that locker room project. But I just keep thinking like in a year, this will be a thing of the past,
Yeah.
Can we take a few minutes to just talk about you? And we know what Gunner's favorite teams are. Do you have time to follow professional sports or college sports?
Yeah, I mean, I purposely find my way to disconnect from work. I have to, you know what I mean? Like, we're a job where we could be 24/7, similar to you, Mike. You could be 24/7. Things happen regardless of whether or not we're busy. Like, it just happens, and we are the people that need to answer to that. So I do purposely put Sundays aside for myself, which means I get to follow a lot of football. So like, my friends come over, we cook out and watch football. So I've been a Patriots fan my whole life. I'll be a backup Dallas Cowboys fan just to keep my dad happy. But yeah, I'll watch that. I watched World Cup all summer. That was awesome. I mean, I played college soccer, so this was like, what an opportunity to watch real, true soccer players play. I mean, that's an impressive level to be at, and it was great soccer, and it was fun. And I wasn't just rooting for the U.S. I was watching everybody. So I'm an NCAA basketball fan, but I don't watch basketball during the season because I'm out reffing every night. So I don't get that opportunity to sit and watch it. So the tournament is an important piece for me. But yeah, overall, I do watch a lot of sports. It's who I am, and I enjoy it. And I have a lot of friends that watch it. So it's sort of all encompassing, I guess.
So one question for Mike. I was watching Channel 12 Sports last night. Saw the interview with Marquise Buchanan, who you're familiar with, of course, having he went to classical. You were in Hendricken when he was in classical. Sure. But then again, you get that classical bloodline. AJ Pina is petitioning for a fifth year of eligibility.
You made your decision. It's it. You're not going back. Colleges should not accept those kids back.
Oh, I agree.
You've made that decision. You've declared. You took a bite of the apple. Before these students come out of college, they have agents who will predict how they would fare if they leave or they use another year, so that they know where they're going.
Right.
You can't take a bite of the apple. You stick your toe in is with the agent and you predict. That's okay because that's the nature of it. But once you leave, take a bite of the apple and you don't like it, and you want to come back, you're done. You're done. You had your time. This is ridiculous at this point.
So
tell these kids no.
You were the first thing that came to my mind. What does Mike think about this?
Oh, I hate it.
It's just over convoluted.
It's you want your cake and eat it too. I don't want to be accountable for my decision. This is really indicative of what we're dealing with these student athletes of this age. We just can't.
We're almost done.
Say no. You can't. They can't accept no for an answer. They want to keep pushing it, and that's it. Yeah, I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah.
I think it's
How do you
awful.
really feel?
Yeah, because it bothers me because when you let that student athlete back, what happens to the true student that's coming out of high school? Even that doesn't happen anymore. If you're really good, you got to go to prep. You got to reclassify.
Right.
The high school senior becoming a freshman on a team is
not happening.
It doesn't happen,
which
that
is a
much
bummer
anymore.
for them because
Right.
it's making everyone have to be scandalous.
Right, and you're
do
just
all these
kicking
things.
everyone. Yeah, so it pushes it back, and ultimately that student's selfishness, who's played for 5 to 6 years, that selfishness is affecting someone who hasn't really started their journey yet. And I think that's what we have to look at, not the kid who didn't get his way, it didn't really work out the way they thought it was going to work out. You're affecting the student who's a senior, who's trying to get recruited. And if you backlog everything, it just affects those kids.
And if you read the NCAA manuals, which are basically about yay thick, 400 some odd pages, there's such an emphasis in the first 3 or 4 pages about student athleticism and being a student first and then the athlete. Where's that going?
There isn't. That doesn't happen. That sounds good, but right? It sounds great. In the small market areas and small divisions, like my daughter's going through this right now. She has to carry 15 credits to be eligible to participate in sports. And so now she's struggling to make sure she gets 15 because, she doesn't want to take a class that doesn't help her towards a major just to take a waste credits. So, she's chasing that 15. She's gonna have a tough year.
And it's harder too if you're like someone who's like a nurse or a teacher, not a teacher so much, but a nurse where you have to do clinicals and stuff. It's making it very hard on, especially the girls that want to do that because the boys are used to jumping around. That's the nature of men's sports as they get older. But the women are going for an education with the hopes of playing a sport. So there's a different balance in that regard. We
see that we have nursing majors on the team, and so they have a hard time with their practicals just to be able to make games and practices, and this is their life. So and there is no next step in the softball world unless you're going to stop playing, your co-ed bear league. That's it, really. And so they're done. And so these are young women who are going into their career that they're passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
And so really there isn't a measure. The measure is your job, your training comes first.
Right.
And that shift happens as you get older, in especially in the nursing major. Yeah, so we see that.
Even on a smaller scale, Matt Gowdy, who was one of my former Legion players, in like my 33rd year of coaching, was to go to UMass Dartmouth and play baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Came out of accident with Greenwich, went into the nursing program, and wasn't able to cut it. He just had to dedicate himself to the nursing program and had to cut short his baseball career.
Yep.
That's the kind of thing that it's unfortunate that it happens, but now we're seeing that it happens less and less.
No, it's part of life. It really that's what
Making
that's what
choices.
if you're a grown up, this is what grown ups have to make tough decisions.
Right.
So that's kind of it.
But back to the PETA thing a little bit, doesn't it? It bothers me that you're even given the choice instead of cut and dry, the NCAA saying, sorry, you can't. Now there are legal challenges and it goes to the courts and there's socio and economic things that are.
So I think I just
filtering
read
in.
that the NCAA filed an injunction on those.
Yeah.
Good. The NCAA has more money than they do.
Oh.
So if they want to go down that road, because it's precedent setting, and I think at some point you have to have rules and you got to stick with them, and there's got to be guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how this turns out.
I know Jim Fleming is hoping for him to come back. But then again, what happened to the coaches who coached 4-year students, get them to graduate, were happier than pigs and you know what? That
Because their contracts are tied into their winning. You want
Yeah,
to
I
go
was
look at
gonna
his
say,
contract?
That's another problem. It hurts students when they're tied into winning because if that kid could be one of your better players, but because they're choosing academics, they become a second-tier player.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So does that do it for this edition of Settling
No, we
Scribbles?
can keep
You can go as
He's
long
ready
as you
to go.
want. I don't care. You got places to be.
I don't.
No, he's ready to go. Look, he's got a battery charge.
I'm here to
He's plugged
I'm-
in. He's good
listen,
to go.
I'm here till like 10 o'clock tonight. So
I'm looking at my watch and I'm saying, oh, it's time to go. But no, we can go a little overtime.
you want to? You go as long as you want. I mean,
Are you hosting a injury fund game?
No, they're going to Burrville. We did what, like 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, and then
Burrville. Hey, so I have an issue with this.
No,
So
of course
I
you do.
really, because like back in the day, the injury fund was kind of regionalized.
Yep.
Yeah.
We could host it. West Warwick could have hosted it, and I like the fact that Tollgate, West Warwick, EG, and Pilgrim. I
Yep.
like that. I thought it was those schools that are close together.
Yep.
And they're pretty even.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden things kind of went different ways, and you're going all the way to Burrville
yeah.
for a
Right.
half a game.
Right.
what
It's going to
purpose?
take you longer to get there
Than
than
to
to
play.
play the game.
I think they added an additional JV opportunity too, so we could at least have like more kids play
Oh.
than just the half the game.
so what's the purpose though? Why did they change it? Why change something that worked?
Because I feel as though because teams wanted to play, they wanted to make it a real game. So they were they said, well, we don't want to play a half a game. We'll write a check, whatever, and
and then not show
we're
up.
going to play a full game
Yeah.
against another opponent. So that just kind of creates a fraction among all the teams from the pool that you are going to play. The injury fund, I think, I don't know if people understand the history. I know you do,
I
you know,
do, yep,
because
yep.
you have it's your world.
We've utilized it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think principals, and I get it because they have other things to really think about, and superintendents. But when you participate in an injury fund, it covers your program, coaches, athletes. So if you get hurt at practice, it covers what your insurance doesn't cover. But you have to. But the spirit of it is you have to participate, and then your gate goes towards it, and so that's kind of the buy-in. So when schools say, "Well, we don't want to do it," you're kind of just putting your own opinions in front of kind of what's best for your school community. So, and I don't, as a coach, I never liked it because I felt like it was a stressful for half a game that meant nothing.
You're risking injury.
No, it's not. No,
See,
it's
I
never
think it's
about
risking
risking
it.
injury.
See,
I don't
I
ever
think
play
so
a
it
sport
is.
for rich. You
Why
play
not?
because you don't play a sport then. Because don't walk outside. Don't get in the car.
So why the NFL? Why does the NFL tout not having a preseason game because
these
they're
guys
afraid?
make millions of dollars in this guaranteed contracts. This is something that's it's a righteous thing, and so it's done for the right reasons. So it's a half a game. For me, when you coach, where I coached, you can't lose a quarter. You can't you have to win everything. So when we had an injury fund, we prepped for an injury fund like we prepped for the championship. It was 100% dedication, and it gets like for half a game it was tough. So if we made it a meaningful game, I can live with that, but still have an injury fund, like still take the gate and still participate. Then it becomes an issue with the officials because the officials will do it for free. But if it's a full game, now, what are we doing here? We're working for a full game. So pay them with the gate too. You have big schools. I think in the small schools, I love the more the round robin concept where there's 2 games, back to back. And I like that. You'll get more fans. But for like a big school with a big following, like the University of North Kingston, they bring a ton of people. So you can play a full game. You're not going to lose a lot of money, and then you can pay the officials in injury.
Right.
And I say that with all the love you can.
What about
give.
the College of Henrican?
They're a whole different species. That's fine. They have a big fan, so those schools can go play somewhere, and then use that gate to pay for their injury fund and pay the officials. That's my point.
If the gate is so important, why is EG going to Burrville?
Because I think that's what they told you ago.
They give us spots.
Yeah, they were told to do it. This isn't.
We just do what they tell us.
And
But
I
it's
think-
interesting too. I think there's a lot of officials out there that don't realize that they can be covered as well. Like we're self-contracted, and God forbid you have an injury and you're not covered. So I think they're paying half game fees now to officials to get them to engage, which will certainly help. But like I've always said, especially as a basketball person, we could do 3-person and like teach the younger people how to do 3. You know what I mean? It's an opportunity to do that.
Basketball's a big. That's
it is.
kind
They're
of
a big one that doesn't like to do it. Volleyball, I think, is also another one.
Yep.
But we're just not thinking outside the box in that regard. But I'm glad that they're back on. And
I
it's
heard
important.
next year is going to be a good. I think they kind of fixed the football part.
I believe
think
they did,
that's kind of what I heard. So as far as like this was very disjointed and like teams pulling out and made other teams have to pivot. And, like that's why they're driving to Burrville. I hope that everything gets back to normal, and I'd love to see those 4 teams and just take a different. I know Tollgate's tough, and they don't have in Tollgate and Pilgrim, but by next year they should have a space.
Yeah, they should. Yeah,
and
they
should. And that would be a great place, a great
just
venue.
rotate it. So you're only
That's-
hosting every 4 years, technically.
and that's
you know what I
okay.
mean?
Unless I'm speaking, that's just my opinion. Like knowing the teams, knowing what you have, there's no really lopsided situation. These teams are all kind of honestly. I know what the other guys have, and so I think it's fair. But who are you playing?
Well, I think we're playing Burrville.
Burrville?
Yeah, I gotta look. I know we're going to Burrville. I gotta look at it. We're scrimmaging them as well on a Saturday.
Okay.
So, I think John does a nice job of getting them
Yeah.
ready. And whether he plays top of the line or someone in our level or below, you know what I mean? I mean, we got a lot to learn over there, and we got a lot to try to do too. So I think he does what any other football coach would do to get ready.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
We've talked at length about the pluses and minuses of the co-op. And for the most part, you've been able to stay away from co-op.
Yeah, we had a fantastic relationship with Tollgate for hockey, and then because they have to go to be just Warwick schools together, they were unable to come back this year. I do think there needs to be a discussion about the numbers in co-oping. I think you'll see it in boys hockey especially. It's a sport that's changed a bit, and it's not, the landscape isn't the same. Years ago, we talked about Carl Swanson, the number of guys and talented guys that he had back then did not require that. I think now we're in a situation, we always lose kids to private schools. I mean, we're East Greenwich, it is what it is. Like they go to Hendricken, they go to LaSalle, they go other places, and that's the nature of who we are, right? So I think, eventually we'll have to get back into the co-op of hockey. We did it for gymnastics to get it off the ground. We started as an independent, and then North Kingstown and us also needed the same thing, so it worked out. But yeah, we have been very fortunate to stay away from that. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think that if you can run your school independently, it is a great thing to do that because you're dealing with one community and one philosophy. And the 2 that we've been with have been fabulous. And we do girls hockey in Cranston, so, we're super lucky in all those relationships. But, like I said, if we can stay away from it, it's,
Speaking of relationships, you basically get to work now with Dr. Tom Kenworthy, who is an academic, but also very, very aware of the positives of athletics.
I'm very lucky. So this is funny. I was at Special Olympics for 13 years, and I had the same boss and the same CEO for 13 years. I come to schools, and I've had 3 different superintendents, and I've had like 2 or 3 different principals, right? So assistant principals, a turnover every year. But yeah, Tom's fantastic. It's really nice when you have a superintendent that he doesn't bother us. Like if we need to call him, we call him, but he shows up. He's observant, so I know he's watching. But I think that's a good thing. Like so you can't get better if someone doesn't tell you that you need to do something right. You know what I mean? So I like that portion of it with him too. He'll recommend things when I ask. And like you said, he's a sports person. So it's not every day you get a superintendent that's a sports person.
Does the fact that U.S. News and World Report ranked East Greenwich number 3 in the state of Rhode Island above the University of Hendricken or North Kingstown College, whatever, it's
who's one?
Classical was 1, Barrington was 2, EG was 3, Portsmouth was 4. Does that tell the parent of an East Greenwich High School prospect or an incoming possible 9th grade, 8th grader stay in town, it's worth it?
I think that depends on the child and what they want to get out of the experience. If you're a sports person, you're gonna probably choose a private school on the men's side, on the women's
Diplomatic
side.
answer that
Yeah,
was.
you like
Can't
that?
feel that. I had this argument.
Diplomatic and you in the same sentence do not go.
Well, the views of Mike Green do not reflect the views of anything else I'm associated with.
Exactly.
Or I couldn't do this job. I wouldn't do it. I have this argument. When schools argue against parochial schools, I will use East Greenwich as an example. Why does a student who lives in East Greenwich go anywhere except East Greenwich if it's about education? If it's about education, U.S. News has said it.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So when they leave to go somewhere else, not private, public, to me, it's all about leaving to go play a sport. That's it. It's not about it. I mean, you move to East Greenwich, play East Greenwich taxes. You've got a phenomenal educational system and athletic program, comprehensive, and you're still leaving to go elsewhere. It's because of sports. It's really, and that frustrates me as someone who's heard forever how unfair it is other schools get kids from all over the
Do you
place.
think that's
Just
do you
level
think
the
that's a
playing field.
majority? Because I know kids that don't
Some
play
of the
sports.
best kids, I think, in East Greenwich are playing
I'm
somewhere
not
else.
talking Eastern, I'm talking
and that's
statewide.
always
I know
been
kids
that,
that go elsewhere for West Warwick. They come to West Warwick for theater and arts, but they're not playing sports. They're there because they
That,
want to
you know
be
what?
there.
That's very few. That's very few.
I know kids that go to Pontiganset for their forensics department.
Yeah.
Because it's so
Yeah,
specialized.
I get that, but it's not. That's very few, John. It's
So
sports.
the numbers aren't
Sports.
Sports.
Yeah,
All right.
a major motivator is sports, and I'll throw cheerleading in there.
No, I'm sure.
It's the extracurricular. You want to call it that? It's not about. I would think it's not so much about the educational programs that they offer. Those are just the avenue to get there.
Okay.
And so
No, I see what
a
you're
lot
saying.
has to do with the extracurricular activities in sports, cheer, performing arts is all part of it. So, if I'm living in East Greenwich, I don't care. My kid's going to East Greenwich.
I mean,
No.
we do see the transfers back that tend to come back from a school, and the education piece of it does not meet the same standard. So there is that making up for of it when they return, depending upon what year that may be. But yeah, East Greenwich has always been a very high academic school. It was like that when I was there. I mean, they have high excellence there. The teachers are fabulous. I mean, they work really hard to produce that curriculum that's already set forth for them, and they're flexible too. Like, they're not like, this is how it's going to be, they're very willing to work with us. I mean, I would never go in a classroom and ask a teacher to change a grade, but I would recommend the kid to go speak to them about what their version of this and the teacher's version of this, and to work that out, but it's just, the rigor's high. If you want it, it's there for you. If you don't, and you want to go somewhere else differently, that's also
Yeah,
your choice.
it's a family decision. I
Right,
guess it's
right.
tough. It's tough.
It is, and I
It
mean, of
is
course,
tough.
we'd love to see more kids come to our school, but we also understand that it's private to them and their choices, and they
Yeah.
go where they think their child's going to be most successful. And
I think that
Very
part of
well.
it. I think part of it. I always say, if you send your student to like a parochial school because you think it's going to give them an advantage, I think it's a bad idea. I don't think that's a smart reason. You want to send them to a different school because of you're an alumni yourself, or
Right.
the philosophical. If it's a parochial and you want a Catholic education, I think that means something.
Mm-hmm.
But just to send them somewhere because you think the sports are going to get them somewhere is a tough thing. I think they're going down a rocky road
We have an off-camera question from our studio.
Come on, our
audience.
studio audience, our first one.
Do you think kids are leaving because of the division? Because they get to a better school, a bigger student body, they go from class, let's say, class 3 to class 1?
I mean, I know we run into that in some sports. I mean, we're Division II basketball program and a Division III football program. So
Class 1 school.
I think it's all comes down to just understanding the sport that you're in. You know, I mean, you're gonna if you're good, you're gonna get recruited somewhere,
I was going to say,
and people are gonna find you.
Doesn't exist anymore.
In the sports like basketball, softball, baseball, I would just hockey. You know, a lot of these kids are getting recruited outside of the high school real season. They're playing AAU. That's where they get noticed.
Yeah,
Because
days have
most
changed
colleges realize,
big time.
A, I can't get there because our season's the same as their season, so I can't watch them. B, that we understand that the competition in Rhode Island might be a little different. So, you know, I get a chance to see someone, you know, play in the Cape League in a baseball league. I get to see them against better talent. So that's where the recruiting is. But that idea is I have to go to Division I to get noticed. You know, football, maybe I would think football, it would matter, because that's where they do get recruited. But then you go to camps.
Right.
So if you go to a camp and I'm a Charo kid, like a Benna Sermley was a Charo kid back in the day, 6'5", 6'6", like 300 pounds. Yeah, guess what? You can go Division 1, 2, 3, 4, and a college coach is going to see that kid walk through the door.
Oh, yeah.
He's not going to care about his competition because now we'll put you with our competition. So, you know, to me, to answer that question, I think it's just parents not knowing how the whole thing works. And I think you can stay in that school. And I think it's just a parent wants to say, my kid goes to Division I. You know, the kid wants to say, I go to Division I. You might not play.
I mean, I played college as a 4-year player, and we were not in Division I in every sport that I played in. You know what I mean? So it's interesting that you're to your point about outside recruiting. It's not. We never see coaches at high school games anymore. Not like it was when I was younger. I mean, you certainly saw them if they were interested, and they would come toward the end of the season. But it's all AAU now. It's all outside those private programs, which is also, in my opinion, in some regards, it's hurting the kids because they're asked to play a sport 9 months out of the year. They're never giving themselves breaks. They're specializing. So I think for all the good, there is that negative too.
Is it technology part of it too? Because they watch a lot of film.
Yeah.
And then they get themselves a videographer or whatever they call them nowadays, and they videographer you, and then they send it off. You send tapes off to recruiters.
Right. And online, they use their Instagram and social media
Sure.
quite a bit. You know what
yeah.
I mean? We didn't have that. I had to call someone's house if I wanted to talk to them when I was in high school.
The visits from coaches are out the door
it's
now.
just a different style now. There's a lot of that NIL money if you're really, really good. You know what I mean? So it's just the landscape is significantly different than it was, X
I think COVID kind of kicked that off as far as
with the technology.
Yeah,
type of
like
thing.
posting your stuff. But even so I used to have as a college coach, like I'd get tapes. You know, here's a game film of mine. I'd have to go through the whole tape. The kid played in the last 3 plays of the game.
Now you got huddle.
I'm like, yeah. So
Huddle's
now
the best, everything
but
for
it's
you.
all just highlights. Like,
Right.
all right, yeah, of course you're going to put the best plays.
Yeah, your best stuff.
So is it in the big? So you have to look at the time of the game. All right, are we in the fourth quarter here? So you're getting clips.
Right.
So is this the fourth quarter against the JV team this kid's putting out together, or is this a starter? So, everything's very subjective if someone's putting something out.
Right.
And I think coaches understand that. That's why I would say to those athletes, go to the camps, go to the realistic camps. Like if you're my height, I'm not going to the Notre Dame football camp.
Right.
All right. But I'll go to the Nichols football camp or like a UMass Dartmouth football camp because that's kind of where I am. But I think sometimes people think that I need to go here because I want to go there.
Right.
Go be a student. Go grab the pennant, put it on in your dorm room, go to all the games and have a great college experience.
I mean, if you look at the percentage of kids that are recruited to college, it's very low. I think it's like 1% of all high school kids go on to college and 3% if you're a runner. That's really low. Like, think about your numbers and all of the opportunities. And I'm not saying that kids shouldn't think they can't go because that's something you'd ever want to do to a child. But also being realistic to know that this may be the last 4 years of your life. So experience it in the best way possible, and not be so stressed out about recruiting or trying to go all these places. If deep down in your heart, you don't want to play in college, because if you think high school commitment's a lot, you haven't seen the best of it yet.
No. I got a comment, a couple of comments.
Oh.
We're getting comments.
Nice.
I can view the comments on my screen. First comment is Gunner.
Yeah, comment.
People are saying you are so well behaved. You deserve something special when you get off the air
He's
today.
gonna get it. Don't worry. We already have a plan.
I'm telling you, I got a
in place.
couple of comments from
Yeah,
people
he's saying you're a good
texting me
boy.
right now. He deserves, no question. He's so well behaved and patient. Oh my
He
God.
is patient.
And the second comment I had was from Ben, our boss.
Nice.
He says, thank you so much for allowing us to broadcast East Greenwich sports. We're excited about the program in East Greenwich and the community and can't wait to continue this more and more this year and expand. So that's from Ben, but I like the one.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you mentioned that. He is doing a good job.
Hey, they're commenting.
He's
I'm reading
getting
them.
to the end, but I think he's
I'm reading them on the
he's happy to be
screen.
here. But thanks to Ben. I mean, you guys have been great. We'll have you anytime. We love the families after the baseball game talked about it. They're like, that was awesome because baseball's not a followed sport, right? Like,
yeah,
you don't have an NFHS camera for baseball, so the only stuff you're going to see is if a parent videotapes their child or something. So
And if the announcer stays for the entire game, that'd be great.
We'll have to set you up for like a June game.
I have to razz them.
You have to. But no, we love having you guys here, and we would have you for more for sure. I mean, it's really a benefit to the organization.
I want to do some more girls games, and he knows this. I love doing girls softball, basketball.
That game with you guys in college
Yeah.
a few months back was great.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
I'm looking forward to flag football too. I'm looking forward to doing some girls flag football this spring. That's going to be an interesting concept.
And I'm pretty sure, and I don't know, Mike, you can confirm this. I'm pretty sure there's already a girl that is going on a scholarship for flag football. I think out of St. Ray's, right?
Maybe, I think so.
Yeah, and that was the early club type
when
setup
they were
that they
clubs?
had.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember them saying that. So I mean, there's already girls out there making it happen.
I mean, we have baseball and softball, but to expand on another female sport in the springtime would be great. I think that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. That's just going to be something that's
It's going to be a great year.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I kind of think hopefully schools that are kind of like looking at the budget and they're kind of maybe kicking, like thinking about it next year.
Press
Hopefully
boxes?
for flag football, maybe have a club and then see how the numbers are. I think you can work around the paying of a coach with club, naming it like identifying as club. It's a little different. So you're not on the rolls necessarily. So I would hope schools look at it that way, and maybe instead of jumping into the deep end of the pool, they kind of go in and see ease into it. Yeah.
How many schools? I don't know if you asked this, and maybe I missed it. How many schools are committed to putting together a flag football league?
16, right?
So 16 already.
There were 16 that petitioned.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wasn't sure where that was. I don't know if I missed it earlier. 16 teams. Oh, that's great.
Right now, that's
and that's going to be in
committed.
the Scholastic. That's not a
Yeah,
club
so that's
team.
like a quarter of our membership.
So that's going to be wow. That's
Yeah.
going to be fun then.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we're going to work into it like you just
Yeah,
said. You know what I mean? I know we have an interest in our town. It's just a matter of getting in. I don't like to dive headfirst in anything. I'm not that kind of person. I like to feel it out, weigh it out, get it to the right point because if you epically dive in, you fail miserably, and I don't want to do that. You know
Now, is
what I
West
mean?
Warwick
So-
committed? They put in no. Is East Greenwich committed?
We're not. No.
You're not. So there's two local communities that aren't committed just yet. So which local ones? Do you know which ones are committed right now off the top of your head?
Well,
I'm curious.
Well, Johnson,
St. Ray's,
Johnson,
Johnston,
I think
LaSalle.
Juanita, Classical.
Not classical.
Not Classical. So what
Hope,
Central?
Hope
Coventry?
Mount Pleasant.
Coventry's not right.
Coventry is.
Oh, they are.
He sat here and said we talked about.
Oh, that's right. We did.
He's
And
got
that was
a-
before the
he's got a
vote. That was
ton of
before the
numbers.
actual.
He's got a large number of kids involved already.
Yeah, I mean, Justin and I talked a little bit about it when we were discussing jumping in this year or next year. And, there's that conversation about not bringing on as many kids as well because they're all not going to play. So bringing on 30 plus kids is not a football team. It's not going to work, So there is that conversation to be had too. Is there's only so much room to play because there's no JV.
Now, is the NFL sponsoring this? Are they funding a
first
portion
year
of
they're
this?
funding everything for the
Funding
first.
uniforms.
I think I saw that
Trying
on-
to get coaches
Flag.
stipends. I
Yeah,
think.
coaching stipends.
I think
It's
Ania
kinda almost like
Khan
what the
said it last
Special
night on
Olympics
Channel
are,
12.
did
Yeah,
get
their first year.
unified.
Right? I
They'll
think
throw it in there.
that report
And
from
then you
Channel
take it
12
as
last night
time
is
on.
correct. Ania Khan was speaking. So the NFL is sponsoring the first season. Oh, okay, that's great.
So here are the first 16.
Okay.
Lincoln, LaSalle, Johnston, Central Falls, Juanita
Sanchez,
North Providence.
It's doubleheader.
Yeah,
right?
Saturdays.
Go Greyhounds.
Yeah, I'll be out of here.
Yeah, we lose them for settling the score
Yeah, it makes
in
sense.
springtime.
Yeah,
It's only for 4 years.
that's it, and then it's
It's
over.
over. It
She's
goes
got to
fast.
get a real job.
Yep.
She's a senior this year?
No, rising junior.
Junior this
Yeah.
year, correct.
Yep,
Yeah.
junior.
All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Goes fast.
yeah, it goes by in the blink of an eye. Yeah, and I'm super proud that she's playing college athletics. Like, to your point, is not easy.
It's not. It's not. And
They
then-
move in on Friday. They move in, and then she's working a camp like the day they move in, and then a few days, and then they meet, conditioning test, and this is fall ball starts, and
I
no
don't miss
stopping.
it. I miss it, but I don't miss it.
Yeah, no,
With my
I agree
daughter.
with you because when I was younger, we didn't lift weights. We didn't do any of those personal workouts like that. Like, we kind of had a running joke that you smoke cigarettes and eat Burger King, right?
Yeah.
And these kids now are healthy as can be. They're working out every day. They're in the gym. They're working. You know what I mean? There's so much that goes into it. They have personal, whatever your sport is, you have a personal somebody training you. So there's a whole lot that goes into it now that I can't say that I would probably love it at this point. I like the social part of sports.
I know
too,
Bryant University just hosted eight schools for their cheerleading camp 2 weeks ago, and that was during that week of like brutal 90-degree weather, and 8 teams at Bryant University for cheerleading, and my daughter's a coach for cheerleading at Bryant, and it was brutal. These kids were like dying because of the conditioning they had to go through.
Of course.
And it was just terrible.
It's tough. So my daughter spends a lot of time at Amped, which
I love
is a
Amp,
big,
which is where I'm going.
Yeah,
actually. I love
awesome.
Andy.
Yeah,
I went
she's
to high
going
school with
to Amp.
Andy. So.
Oh, really?
Yep. So he's
Awesome.
an East French graduate, and he contacted me almost immediately. But a lot of success comes from guys and gals alike going there. There's a lot of people from the college kids that'll come in.
Yeah, Molly still goes since 7th grade. She's been going.
That's awesome. Yeah,
she goes back in college, and that's
he's fantastic.
Yeah. So. And I know that's such a big connection to EG.
And not having a gym right now, it's even better because they can go right up the street and it's there for them. I know football, some kids from the football team work out, field hockey does it. So we do want to push it out a little bit more to some teams. There's that overall benefit, injury prevention, if anything, at the high school level.
And that's what would happen. Like Molly would go there back when she was still in high school playing in the summer.
Yep.
If she saw, she'd go there. But West Warwick, we had Justin Lake. Coach Lake brought the hockey team for the summer program there.
Great guy.
So great
guy.
We love Amp. Love Andy. He's been great. He's been really great to my kid over the years.
We're lucky. I mean, we have a lot of resources in East Greenwich that some other places don't always have, so it's nice. And they are good to all of our athletes. There isn't a particular kind of athlete that needs to be successful in East Greenwich. We offer a lot of different things and a lot of different opportunity. I mean, I'm super lucky. Administration, like I said, has changed so many times. My principal's been there. I think this is her 3rd year. And, I wouldn't say she started out as a sports person necessarily. She plays tennis, but, there's a lot of learning to go along. But she's been so supportive and so good about making sure that, that it's the culture is part of the school, right? And that can sometimes be separate if you're not on the same page with your principal, and I'm very lucky in that regard. She's been super helpful in the good and the bad, coming to games and being part of the culture. It's important,
It is important, yeah.
Boots, one more time. Get people over here to West Greenwich.
Oh, you want me to transition over to the let's look at everything that's going on.
There's more people than when we started there, everybody.
Yeah, there are more people here. Let's see if I can he changed Ben plays with my my settings. So I have to move the camera around. It's wireless.
He can
there
control?
We go. Yeah, he jumps on my computer all the time.
Oh, he can control that from where
he can control anything he wants. He can control anything he wants on my computer. So
anyway,
there's where the buffet is going to be. Let's go to this is where the buffet is going to be. Buffet's all set up. Raffle tables all set up. Let's move over to the. Everybody's here. This place is packed now. These people are starting. I didn't. It's early. Ben, you messed up my.
So these guys have been cooking since yesterday at 3 o'clock, and they're smokers trying to make the food.
There we go.
So no.
What's that?
Red Sox, Patriots. What?
You gonna be here later?
It's cold. I gotta go put something
setting
on.
up here.
Came back.
Oh, I was told 12 judges.
See, they're in the little containers right there.
12 judges for this. And we're gonna get one of the judges.
Tavern on 3 starts at 1.
1. Starts at noon. Gates open at noon. Everything else starts.
So we
at
had
1.
less than an hour for where we are now.
So come on back.
And of course, the big question of the day, Gunnar, you have to answer this for me. Patriots are playing the Eagles tonight. Who wins?
Be the predictor. What do you think? You want the Eagles?
The Eagles.
Whoa.
All right, so you've heard it. Upset in the making. Cassie, thanks.
Thank you for having me. This was
Hope
a
you
great
had a
time.
good-
Yeah,
hope you had a
thank
good time.
No, it was great. It was awesome. And now Gunner's going to get us something because he's been so good.
So where are we going to lunch?
Yeah, where are we going?
McDonald's.
I knew that was
Oh
coming.
yeah. See? Perfect.
Man after my own heart.
Boots, thanks. See you next week.
Oh, we'll be here. We'll be
Well,
back here next week.
Molly moves in. Honestly, yeah, all kidding aside, Molly moves in next week, so I don't
So
know where
maybe
I'm gonna
not.
be. Yeah,
So we might have to get a guest host.
you might. Yeah, I gotta figure that out actually.
Okay.
'Cause I know they move in, and she's like I said, camp on Sunday, so I think she's trying to get in the residential life to get in a day earlier, so we can get her moved in probably Saturday. So I don't know.
I doubt it.
We'll figure it out.
Nice seeing you.
Join us next week to see if Mike is really here or not. Go Avengers.
Go Avengers. That's right.
See you next week, everybody. Thanks for being with us.
Go Hounds.